What's up? My name is Eric Butler. This channel is called Report and Opine. I am back, and from OK Magazine, by way of MSN, of course, CNN offers tempered defense of lightning rod anchor Don Lemon amid misogyny scandal. So I'm not quite sure how we got here to the point where a weirdo gay establishment hack journalist is considered a misogynist, but I guess it's because he said Nikki Haley was past her prime or something like that. And how did he become a lightning rod? I mean, he literally parrots every single talking point. Now, you can see the old clips of Don Lemon where he was saying things that made sense. He has since cleaned up that act and parroted 99 out of 100 talking points, but they don't like him because he didn't get that 100th talking point. It's all absolute insanity, but par for the course in the backwards bizarre world. We see it with the New York Times employees mad at the New York Times because the executives aren't extreme enough on this gender ideology, and the cycle continues. But they say, even though Don Lemon has been in hot water as of late, why is Don Lemon in hot water? He was recently called out for being rude to his producers and his diva-like behavior in an expose. CNN CEO Chris Licht defended the star during the Semaphore Media Summit. So, yeah, again, I'm not quite sure how he became a misogynist and a diva at the same time, but it makes sense. Of course, does anybody think for one split second Don Lemon is not going to be a diva? The same guy who allegedly was prancing around Long Island trying to, you know what, that's a different story, and I digress. We won't talk about that, but maybe it didn't happen. Maybe it was all made up. The lemon drop story, hands down the pants. Anyways, moving on. When Licht, whatever, was asked about how he navigates Lemon, 57, getting all his media attention, he made a quick remark about the drama and then started talking about something else. Quote, Don Lemon is a lightning rod because he really came to prominence during an era that was celebrated and encouraged in prime time, he said. CNN has moved on from that, and Don has moved on. Yeah, not on purpose. They moved on because nobody watches this nonsense. They can't even keep their airport contracts anymore, I think. As OK previously reported, the TV personality has been making headlines for saying inappropriate things while on air. And I can't believe I'm defending Don Lemon again because I can't stand this guy. He, brought up Kanye's dead mother to make a political point a couple years ago, and that triggered me to no end, to where I still haven't forgot about it, and I will never forgive him for that. But they are angry at him because he said something about Nikki Haley not being in her prime. Bro, why is the guy not entitled to his opinion? As despicable as him bringing up Kanye's dead mother because Kanye West went to the White House in a red hat and said he's off his meds, I think that's despicable. He has the right to say it. And of course, he said a laundry list of other despicable things, but I'll tell you what I'm not mad about. You can run the old clips of Don Lemon talking about the neighborhoods that he lived in and the litter and stuff like that. But again, that's another story, and I digress. And he probably would 110% take that back now because he knows that the truth has no place on CNN. And I guess it barely did back then. It might have been 2014 or 2015 when he said that. I don't know. But he threw that away, parroted almost every single talking point, missed one, and now they're mad. In February, he called out Nikki Haley once it was revealed she would be running for president. And yeah, of course, he's not going to like Nikki Haley. What he said wasn't extreme. And Nikki Haley, well, she may or may not be past her prime, up for debate. She's actually a liar because I do remember her saying she wasn't going to run if Donald Trump ran. But of course, lie detector test determined that was a lie. She says people, politicians are something if not in their prime. Nikki Haley isn't in her prime. Sorry, he stated on Thursday, February 16th. A woman is considered in her prime, 2030s and 40s. Okay, yeah, I mean, he has that right to an opinion. But in CNN land, in establishment world, you do not have that right. Now, Wajahat Ali can literally say that Nikki Haley is laundering white supremacy through her brown skin, which isn't even really that brown, and nobody bats an eye, right? Racism, white supremacists, all this nonsense, and everybody gives the thumbs up. But Don Lemon says, maybe she's over the hill, and that's too much. And he gets on timeout. And again, I can't believe I'm defending Don Lemon because he is absolutely despicable. One of the worst. Him, Cuomo, everything at CNN, right? It's not new. Even with this new guy, Chris Licht, who's trying to fix it, it's not going to happen. Just like you're not going to fix New York, you're not going to fix San Francisco. They should both float out into their respective oceans and start from scratch. CNN should do the same. New logo, new name. You can keep this Chris Licht guy or whatever if he really wants to change it. But the logo, the look, the colors, all of that, everybody from the janitors, the mailroom, everybody needs to go. It's rotten from the inside out, from the core. It's rotten. There's no fixing it. Right? It's gone. Nobody will ever trust it again, except for the people. I mean, I guess the handful of people who are still watching it and never realize how terrible it became, they might still do it, but that's not enough. We don't believe you. You need more people, as a great Jay-Z once said. As a result, Lemon's co-anchors were upset with him, resulting in him taking a few days off. He took a few days off for stating an opinion about a national politician. It's absolute insanity. And then he had to apologize, right? He had to grovel. A woman's age doesn't define her either personally or professionally. I have countless women in my life who prove that every day. So yeah, they have to go through their little re-education, right? So you have to pretend like I was wrong, I'm so sorry, and that I now know, I realize the wrongs of my ways, and they put you through this quite literal re-education so that Don Lemon, someone who is not, he is extreme, but not in the way that they're claiming, right? Like it's all backwards, it's all upside down. So this guy who, he's up there with the mostly peaceful protester. He parrots every single thing and then says, and this, for the record too, before I get too far off track, these are the same group of people who will in one sentence tell you that a man could just become a woman because he thinks it, right? And now they're mad because Don Lemon said that a woman is past her prime. But then in the next sentence, they will say, well, yeah, of course a man can get pregnant. It never makes any sense. And like I've said 127 million times before, every single one of their talking points, every single one of their agendas, every single one of their narratives will inevitably, without fail, every single time, conflict with another one of their narratives, agendas, or talking points when followed to their logical, or shall I say, illogical conclusion. None of it makes sense, but that's the point. It's the chaos. It's the power. Jump through these hoops, right? We're going to keep switching and make sure that anybody who doesn't keep following, doesn't keep picking up the droppings that we leave behind, if you miss one, you're going to get thrown off. You're going to get thrown under the bus. Last week, it was revealed that Don Lemon called one of his producers fat to her face and mocked Nancy Grace on air. Yeah, like they care about Nancy Grace. They're angry. Oh, Don Lemon said something about Nancy Grace. Yeah, yes, it's mean. You are allowed to be mean. Earlier in this article, even they say he's a diva. So is it surprising that he called one of his producers fat to her face? It's just all so petty. But like we see the New York Times employees mad at the New York Times, it just never ends because nobody had ever bothered to say no, stop. That's all that had to happen, but it didn't. And now these people they run with one little thing, like Forrest Gump all the way across the country, right? And nobody's there to stop them. That was the beginning of when you knew that Don was kind of volatile and didn't say good things about women and incel. Okay. Don Lemon. We knew that he didn't say good things about women because he said something mean about Nancy Grace, who they were pretending to care about now. Give me a break. To make matters worse, Lemon insulted comedian Jon Stewart when he thought his microphone was off. Yeah, well, Jon Stewart is a hack as well, right? He says some good things, or some things that make sense, I should say, every once in a blue moon. But for the most part, he's doing his, white people are the problem. Make sure we trans the kids. He's an absolute establishment hack shield, so they should be on the same team. But they will always eat their own, and every single one of their talking points will conflict with another one of their talking points when followed to its illogical conclusion. Like clockwork. It's absolutely ridiculous. So once again, I can't believe for some strange reason I'm defending Don Lemon, but this is where we are. This is how bad it's gotten. So, thank you for watching. Please like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe.